welcome back to Dragon Dreams. There's been a lot of debate in the OSR about whether to adopt ascending armor class or to stick with descending armor class. Purists want to keep descending armor class, while more practical OSR players and designers and GMs often want to use ascending armor class since it's arguably much easier. And I'll note that there are already a bunch of OSR games that use this and have been for quite some time, ever since the beginning of the OSR. Basic Fantasy uses it. OSE has an option for it. It's underneath the hood in Ben Milton's Knave. So what's the difference? Descending armor class, which was used from original D&D through 2E, is where the unarmored status starts at 9 or 10, depending on whether you're in basic or advanced, and gets lower as the armor gets better. So leather is 7 or 8, chain is 5, plate is 3. And by the way, when I say unarmored, I mean, obviously not a dex penalty or something, or bonus. Okay, so then you have ascending armor class, which was used in 3E on. And that starts out with 10 for unarmored, and it rises up from there. So leather is 12, chain is 14, plate is 16. In 1E, they had the hit chart. So you looked up the column with the AC you're trying to hit and the row for your level, and you found a number that you had to roll on or over on a d20. For example, let's say you're a first level character, you're attacking someone in chainmail, which is armor class 5. You look up level 1 armor class 5, and you find something on the chart, like probably a 14 or 15, I think, if memory serves. In 2E, they tried to make this easier by introducing THAC0 to hit armor class 0. Under this system, you write down what your character needs to hit AC 0 and recreate the chart from there. So let's say you have a THAC0 of 19. You would then need a 14 against a foe with chainmail armor class 5. Then Wizards of the Coast bought TSR. When this happened, they came out with 3E, and they introduced ascending armor class. So instead of either a to-hit chart or THAC0, they simply made it so that the actual number needed to hit a particular type of armor at first level was the actual AC number. So then, instead of either lowering a character's THAC0 or giving them a better row on the to-hit chart, they simply gave them an ever-increasing bonus to hit as the characters leveled up, so that your AC then is identical to the minimum modified d20 roll that you need to hit. The result was exactly the same number to roll or better, but just a streamlined way of doing it that cut out the entire need to look up or recreate any chart at all. By making AC identical to the number needed to hit, instead of a number that you had to convert to that number to hit, they made to hit much simpler without sacrificing any underlying game mechanics. Okay, so which one do I think is better? First of all, I can understand the nostalgia factor for people like me who started D&D with descending armor class. I played D&D from 1982 straight through to 2000. Then life happened, as they say, and I didn't get back to it until the pandemic, specifically in 2020. At first, I have to admit, I found ascending armor class confusing. It was a bit out of my comfort zone. After investing 18 years in the hobby, I really wanted to come in to the nerd version of the game feeling like I'm on top of the game, like I'm an expert. and came in feeling very frustrated because suddenly there was a whole new game to learn, and my expertise didn't seem to amount to much. Of course they did, but it didn't feel like they did. So I can understand that feeling if that's what you're feeling. But once I got used to it, I think that Ascending Armor Class really is the best thing that WotC did to D&D. And I would add also, I think, the D20 system, which it's part of. But I'll do a separate video on that at some point. Now, don't get me wrong. I can't stand 5e for a whole bunch of reasons that I've done in previous videos. I do want Ascending Armor Class, however, in my OSRs, because it's just so much easier. Now, some people have complained that THAC0 is just as easy as Ascending AC. I kind of disagree for subtle reasons. What's better about Ascending AC for me is that it cuts out the actual lookup process. So in THAC0, you're still recreating the chart. I mean, I guess you're just subtracting, but you're still, basically you have this disconnect between the AC value and the number needed to hit. The idea that the AC value is the number needed to hit on a modified D20, to me, is brilliant. It's so much simpler on a deep level. It's not just that it's, adding versus subtracting, as some people have said to criticize it who like THAC0. It is fundamentally a cleaner and easier to understand concept. And that's what makes it easier, not just how easy it is to use in gameplay. So my vote is for Ascending AC to make its way into more and more OSRs. It's those sorts of mechanics and mechanical improvements that make OSR games worth buying compared to old versions of D&D that don't have them. Because, honestly, what I want out of an OSR game is a game that feels very much like the game that I started with. But I'm perfectly happy to have anything in it that makes things easier without really losing any fundamental functionality. And that's exactly what Ascending AC does. So I look forward to hearing what you all think about that in the comments.